Well, good morning again, my fellow Zenites. Seems that we got right. Did you check your Pzen wallet balance this morning with your coffee? So the headline says, is Bitboy crypto working for the SEC? And why am I saying that? Well, with the collapse of FTX, Sam Nobank-Friedman, living in the Bahamas, has so far escaped any scrutiny whatsoever. And so this young man has decided to take it upon himself to scuttle on down there and interview SPF, as we shall call him from now on in, for his channel. Great for getting subscribers, I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't work for the SEC. And it's quite clear that we've had no leadership from the SEC with regard to establishing a regulatory framework for trading platforms. But you know, there's way too much being spoken about on the internet, some of it being censored. And I'm fed up of it. It doesn't really matter to us in DeFi, and I'm going to leave it alone. But I will say just a few things about it. So the total loss, and it's very sad that people have lost their money. It's not so sad that institutions have lost their money. But we're only talking about $10 billion so far. And that is a paltry amount of money for the SEC to go after. They're not interested in that sort of thing. They're certainly not interested in institutional investors who've lost their money. I mean, the venture capitalists sitting in Silicon Valley, where were the adults in the room when SPF was pitching them this idea? It's insanity to me. And since I made my feelings known, at least Sequoia Capital have come out and issued an apology. Yeah, well, we want to see more than an apology. How about you in your next meetings? Why don't you start talking about donating a few $1 billion to some congressmen or special interest groups that might promote the idea of DeFi being available to every citizen in the country, and other, governments may then follow suit, because all free and independent populaces should be able to choose economic liberty, economic integrity, and personal to themselves, without being purloined by the government or having to kowtow to any social media company or any big tech companies. It's our private business, and that's what DeFi is all about. And you cannot take that away from the people. You have to get the balance right, for sure, against privacy, stability, and law enforcement. But decentralized finance, the premise and the promise, the first and foremost thing is it's permissionless. We don't need anybody's permission to interact with code. It's self-custody. We are in charge of our own money all the way through. This, as I showed you earlier on, what is this? Well, if you said money, you're wrong. It's not money, it's currency, because all money today, there's only about 10% of the circulating supply of money that is actually physical. The rest of it, 90%, is just a liability of a proprietary institution like a bank. It's a unit of account. It's the same as cryptocurrency. Now, think about cryptocurrency, specifically DeFi. It is permissionless. You're not trusting a third party. It's just you and the code. So going forward, the idea and the promise of DeFi cannot be legislated away. It is going to live on forever, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Countries and governments all around the world are actually looking to create their own digital currencies. And although there's a lot of hoo-ha about how bad this can be, and I agree with a lot of the things that are being said, and if you saw my tweet about what's happening in China, you'd be right to be extremely worried about what is going to happen in the future. But it's coming. You can't stop it. And what we have to be aware of is that the regulatory framework around digital currencies has to be shaped by the public. You know, it is interesting that if you trust a financial body or a cryptocurrency exchange, any private company, you are not protected by the Constitution in America. The First Amendment of free speech, Fourth Amendment of privacy doesn't apply to private companies. It only applies to government institutions. So there is that sort of protection for digital currencies going forward, but the frameworks around it are crucial to whether you are going to be surveilled upon by the government and whether there are going to be curbs and limits on your spending and your personal freedom. It is happening. So it behoves you. You need to educate yourself about cryptocurrency. You need to understand what this new digital currency, digital economy is all about. And this loops back to Pzen. What is Pzen? Well, Pzen is a networked economy. It's decentralized, meaning that you are in control. It's self-custody. Nobody else is holding your tokens, only you. And in fact, the tokens only ever live on the blockchain. When you use a wallet such as MetaMask, combined with a hardware wallet like Ledger or Trezor, wallet is a misnomer. Tokens do not reside on any of those entities. Your tokens only ever reside on the blockchain. And MetaMask as a wallet is merely a user interface for you to be able to interact with your tokens that are on the blockchain. This is a very important concept to grasp. It's also a very important concept to grasp that self-custody means that you control the keys to your own safe, your private keys that are generated when you create your wallets. But of course, you should be generating your private keys via your ledger, so it never gets onto the internet. That is the whole point. So I implore you again, you need to understand that digital currencies are here to stay, and everyone is going to have to use digital currency going forward. So you might as well educate yourself now and learn that it can actually take you out of the rotten system economically that you're in right now, where the wealth get wealthier and the poor get poorer. Look, Pzen as a DeFi protocol is designed as the great wealth reset tool. And how does it do that? Well, Pzen is a networked economy that is free for anybody to take part in. All you have to do is learn what cryptocurrency is all about. Go to the Pzen app website, get a Trezor or a Ledger, install MetaMask, and then buy your USD and Ethereum using your fiat currency. There are lots of on-ramps in which you can do that. And then you simply hold Pzen in your wallet, which is on the blockchain, of course. The tokens are always on the blockchain. And then here's what happens. After every buy, sell, or a transfer to another wallet, a 2% pay it forward deduction is made. That 2% is then redistributed to everyone who holds Pzen. There's no staking, there's no lockup, and you get your share proportionally to the percentage of the total supply that you own at that time of the transaction. But it is compounding rewards on steroids because let's say you had 1 million Pzen and we have a transaction, we have 1,250,000 Pzen appearing in your wallet. That means on the very next transaction, you actually own a larger percentage of the total supply. But there's more. Because the previous transaction also burnt some tokens via the code, you actually own even more percentage-wise of the total supply, so you get more of that 2% pool for the very next transaction. The math behind this is based on the eighth wonder of the world, compounding interest, the favorite investment strategy of Warren Buffett. And I think that he's a man who knows one or two things about investing. So there we have it. And why should you be involved in Pzen? Well, it is a generational wealth building tool. What do I mean by that? Well, let's just say, and again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you or predicting the price of Pzen going forward. This is just exploring the possibilities of the code. The possibilities of the code dictate that Pzen could reach $1 per Pzen very easily. So, if you were able to buy 1 million Pzen today at the discount price that it is this morning, I believe, I think it's about 3.35 or something, maybe 3.7, I'm not sure. But if you were able to accumulate 1 million Pzen, going forward, when the value goes up to $1, that would mean that if you cashed out, you'd have $1 million in the bank. Okay? Six-figure, seven-figure sum. Seven-figure sum. And you might think to yourself, wow, I'm wealthy now, and I'm going to take my $1 million, and that's it. Well, trust me, $1 million didn't go very far in this world. But anyway, let's just say that you were able to have a lifestyle where you're spending $100,000 a year. And that's a pretty okay lifestyle, I guess. But here is your problem. You may think you're wealthy because you have $1 million in the bank. But after year one, you're going to have $100,000 less. There's only going to be $900,000. And after 10 years, it's all gone and you're back to square one. So what you are actually looking for, the goal is this: you need yield. And if you can get compound interest that is actually applied to your sum, not every year, month, week, day, hour, but after every transaction, then you cannot do better than that with any protocol out there. Pzen gives you that without staking or without locking it up. And so all you do is you hold the Pzen in your wallet and you simply dip in and sell what you need to live on, which should last you for a lifetime. That is the premise and promise of DeFi. It's programmable money at the end of the day. It's a new network economy that we can all be part of, and it is here to stay. There is absolutely no doubt about it. So I've had enough of the FTX debacle. I've had enough of what's coming for centralized finance. I do not care, because there's nothing to do with the new economy that we are all trying to build going forward. And the future looks extremely bright. So I don't know whether they're going to pull this video again. I'm not sure what's happening. That's the second time that Twitter seemed to have not be applying their freedom of speech. And like I said before, social media, private companies do not have to adhere to the Constitution. The First Amendment of free speech doesn't apply to private companies. Neither does the Fourth Amendment, or right to privacy. So maybe they are rug pulling this information. I don't know. But if you're listening to me now, then at least you've heard my dulcet tones and my words of wisdom and DeFi truth. And if you want more of that, then you better subscribe to me. If you're on Twitter, make sure that you follow me. I have been in this game a very, very long time. I have seen an awful lot of things happen. And so there is no doubt that at my age, I am the smartest person in crypto. And why is that? Well, it's because I do know that I don't know everything. I will say hello to a few people now before we get roped again, and I will say hello. Crypto Dust. Yes, they work on Ledger fine. What's he saying? Pzen, the coin, the code all works itself. No complex long gameplay, absolutely. Who have we got this morning? Oriz Devitagen, sorry if I murder your name then. Trump coin rewards in Vault, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, go and shill your coin somewhere else because, you know, education over opinion, sir. That is the most important thing. And we're here to educate everybody. Hexhead 111, good morning to you. Looks like it's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day today. It's always a beautiful day in the Pzen world. Crypto Freedom says, here we go. Good morning, Zenites Unite. Let's go spread the great word. Absolutely. Here's somebody else showing another terrible, terrible idea. Okay. Well, thank you for joining anyway. Listen, thank you so much for coming back again. I don't know whether we're going to get rug pull on this one as well, but we are out there and we are giving the truth about DeFi. You hear only the truth from me. I don't have an ego to stroke. I don't have a idea of becoming, you know, a leader of some kind of cult. All I'm here for is to spread the word about what is available to everybody in this decentralized world and in this networked economy that is now available to everyone. Slanjivar. I'm Conrad Pzen, former Bitcoin Foundation member and now evangelist for Pzen, and I'll see you hopefully in the next broadcast. Thank you for watching.